Hey everyone, I am here on 6th Street by Franklin Square in Philadelphia. This is my car behind me, and this is where and how I parked my car in January, right up against the curb. The sign said I could park here, my meter was paid up, and yet I was still ticketed and towed. A little angry and a lot confused, I reached out to the city of Philadelphia to get some answers. Jeanette Bruger is the city's bicycle and pedestrian coordinator.
On 6th Street before 2019, there was a painted conventional bike lane is what we call it. What happened though, is in 2019, the street was repaved, PennDOT repaved the street, and they knew, as we communicated with them, that we would like to put in a parking protected bike lane on 6th Street between Spring Garden and Race Street. But it wasn't quite finished when you parked there, which is why it was unclear.
And when we say protected, explain what that means.
Sure, protected bike lanes are where there's a dedicated space for bikers. What you see here is the sidewalk where folks walk, the bike lane right at the curb, the painted buffer area with the vertical element, the flex posts, the parking and loading lane, and the driving lane.
So back to 6th Street where I parked. This is actually how you're supposed to park around the bike lane, away from the curb. But unless you park in the city a lot, I'm warning you that this particular stretch of spots along 6th is tricky because the city still has to mark the lane with a bicycle symbol and set up the flex posts to keep cars out of the bike lane.
As we think about the needs of every roadway user, we want to protect the most vulnerable roadway users most, right? And that's pedestrians and bicyclists. This is on JFK Boulevard, just west of 15th Street. This is the bikeway right next to the curb, and it kind of twists around to stay at the curb here. This is the painted buffer area with the flex posts, and this is the parking lane and loading lane in this case. And here are the driving lanes.
So the parked cars really do act as an additional buffer.
That's right. They act as an additional buffer, not just for bikes, but also for pedestrians. We want the people walking to be as far away from moving vehicles as possible as well.
It looks like the rest of the protected bike lanes are set up in a way that's a lot more clear.
As it's set up in most other parking protected bike lanes, it's also almost impossible to get your car in there because a car is not the width of a bike lane. So that's ideal because then there won't be that confusion of a person parking. I know it seems counterintuitive to park that way, but if we can clearly message both the safety benefits and the communication of where you should park, it will start, I hope, to feel more seamless.
This is a proven model, right, for safety?
There are parking protected bike lanes on 185 streets in 84 cities nationwide. So we're not the only city to think about this. And a lot of cities keep before and after data of their safety projects. And this is an example of a safety traffic calming element. West Chestnut Street in 2017, when we put in a parking protected bike lane from 45th to 34th, we saw a 47% reduction in speeding vehicles during peak hours. That's a lot. Speed is the most important element to having less crashes happen because when cars are speeding, they're less in control, right? We also saw an 80% increase in people biking on West Chestnut. So 80% more people felt comfortable with the parking protected bike lane. And we saw similar results on Market and JFK in Center City. We have 9.5 miles right now of protected bike lanes, and that's just gonna grow as we add and fill in the network.
Hi, I'm Shirley.
And I'm Regina Mitchell. For more videos like this, subscribe to WHYY.